Alright, so you've done some basic board games, you've got a few sports games on the system, so what's next? Well, something a lot of video game developers would do would be to create a pinball game. At this time, the early 80s, pinball was still quite popular in the arcades. A lot of decent-sized video arcades would have some pinball tables in there as well, and of course they had been in arcades much longer than video games. Thus we have Nintendo's Pinball. Now something that's a little cool and different here is that this game actually has two screens. There's sort of like a top half and a bottom half. When the ball drops down below, it goes into the lower screen, and if you shoot it back up, it goes back into the top screen. This allowed Nintendo to sort of create a bigger pinball table. Now how does the thing control? Well, it's sort of a unique setup. With your right hand, you can hit either of the two buttons. This will control the right flipper. With your left hand, you control the D-pad. Doesn't matter which direction you push it in, this will do the left flipper. So this gives the game somewhat of a feel like a real pinball machine. Now if you saw the American cover there a moment ago, you might be wondering, why is Mario on the cover? What's he have to do this game? Well, he actually does have another cameo, just like tennis. Though this one's a bit more hidden. I guess this might be one of the first examples of like a hidden minigame inside a larger game. Of course, it's really not that well hidden. In fact, if you play this for a little while, you'll eventually come across it, mostly by accident. On the bottom screen, kind of near the upper right-hand corner, there's like a little hole that you can shoot your ball into. If you get lucky and get your ball there, you'll actually go into this little minigame, which is kind of sort of like Breakout. What it is Mario will be holding a platform on his head. You can move him back and forth, try to bounce the ball off the platform, and free Pauline from the prison above. Now this was a bit before Princess Peach entered the picture, so Pauline is still Mario's main love interest. So anyway, I guess that pinball is probably a pretty minor early Famicom title. It certainly wasn't bad. On the other hand, like in 1983, EA had released Pinball Construction Set, which is a game that's a lot more fondly remembered. And later on, you'd see stuff like for the TurboGrafx 16 like Alien Crush, which were much more interesting games. Still, Nintendo hasn't exactly made a whole lot of pinball video games, so I suppose that in a way this is sort of a unique title.